We are recording. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Cunha, and I wrestle for Sac State as well as do MMA with MMA Gold.
Hi, Sabrina, and I'm Sonia.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Yes, I'm with California's Combat Society. Thank you for doing this interview.
Yeah, of course.
This girl just worked out, y'all. I mean, I did jiu-jitsu. I've been doing martial arts, but she definitely has what it takes.
Thank you.
Repping it out. So the fact that she wants to do an interview afterwards is adding more. So we're just going to shoot right into the interview so we can let her get home and get rested. So I have the questions here to make it easier for us all.
Okay.
So what inspired you to wrestle at the college level, and what has the experience been like so far?
Well, I really wanted to wrestle in college right after high school, but there was not really any opportunities, especially in California, and I was pretty new to wrestling, so I didn't really have the experience. So then I kind of just decided to do college. I went to Santa Cruz for almost 2 years, but I realized that, this was a part of my life that I couldn't give up. So then I transferred to Sac State, mainly to pursue MMA, like in the community of Sacramento. There's a lot of MMA, but then, Combat Youth started.
You live in Sacramento?
Yeah, I'm originally from the area.
Okay.
So then I decided to come back because I knew there were good MMA opportunities in Sacramento. And then Combat Youth started up, and so I started wrestling at Sac State. It just kind of
When did they have the females at Sac State? That's something new, isn't it?
The
wrestling?
Well, it's kind of like they just put more funding basically into
the program,
the wrestling, and all the martial
arts.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I need to make sure we're recording.
Okay.
Just before we go on. So you sought an opportunity to wrestle here in your hometown.
Well, it was really just for MMA Gold.
MMA Gold.
And then it kind of, I knew that Sacramento was a good place to pursue martial arts. So then, I just got lucky that it kind of became a thing at Sac State.
Do you think because of Uriah is what caused it to be popular in Sacramento?
They got a new, Team Alpha Male and then MMA Gold. The two teams with like UFC fighters, and then there's a lot of martial arts gyms in the area.
Nice. Okay. So, my book, if you know, it's about unveiling heart. So this is a heart question.
Okay.
So, what does it mean to have heart on the mat, especially in a sport as demanding as wrestling?
I think a lot of it is looking past what you feel in the moment, because it can feel, excruciating, like devastating, exhausting, and regardless of what you feel, to keep pushing because you know that there is a greater goal. Especially, when you go through failures, which are inevitable in the sport, being able to see the bigger picture and having the patience to keep going when things get hard,
And you like to wrestle.
Yeah.
Like when I started jiu-jitsu, I was like, oh my gosh, I like this.
You love it. Yeah,
I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And it feels kind of invigorating to be able to, as a female as well, to move your body in ways that you didn't know you could really move them.
Yeah.
So I think wrestling, comparing to BJJ I see a lot of body movement more in wrestling than I do in BJJ.
Yeah, I think wrestling has to be a lot higher pace, and I think, I have videos of me as a little kid, like wrestling my sister before I even knew
how to wrestle,
what it was. Like, I remember learning the day I learned what wrestling was, and I was like, that sounds like the coolest thing in the whole world. Like, I wanted to do it so badly.
Yeah.
But
did you watch the fake wrestling on TV?
No, my PE teacher was just like giving out forms about there's a wrestling club at the school, and just explain what it was, and I was like,
because I'm from a generation where they didn't have female wrestlers.
Yeah. So
for me to come from on the East Coast to the West Coast out here in California and see all these female wrestlers, that's like, if I could condition my body, if I could go back in time, I would definitely do wrestling and try to condition my body just for the movement.
Yeah.
I I mean, you're like building every muscle in your body at the same time.
Yeah, and
plus building flexibility. I'll let you talk.
Actually, when I first wanted to join wrestling, I was in 6th grade, and my dad basically shut it down, like, because he was also from the generation where it wasn't like girls didn't wrestle, and in his head, you know, I was like this cute little girl, and he didn't want me to go in this gross wrestling room with all these guys. So he just. Now he was very supportive, but at the time, you know, he kind of, that's just what he knew. He was, so
that might have encouraged your heart.
Yeah, well, it was 2 years later that I was like, I still want to do this so badly. So I just joined anyways, and I just went with my mom. Yeah,
see, that's what I did.
Yeah.
See, different story, but I can relate to doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like I had an opportunity to do an amateur boxing, and I was smoking a half a pack of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
As a blue belt in karate and taekwondo.
Yeah.
And I had no real, other than the striking that my karate instructor showed me how to do, I had no training in boxing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do this, tough man.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And I won.
Yeah.
Had I not ever done that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have married who I married.
Yeah.
You know, so there's something to be said about paving your own path, following your own heart's desire to do what you would like to do in life.
Yeah.
And I admire that because it, you know, dads can be quite.
Yeah. It kind of, you know, it was a little bit sad. Like I was so excited, it kind of shut it down. But yeah, I'm glad that I decided. You showed me today, which I took a little bit of video that I will add to this interview if you don't mind, of the demand of the repping it out. Yeah.
Getting the up and then getting the down, up and down. And both of you and your teammate both drilled different moves and just kept with it.
Yeah.
Like you had an opportunity to take breaks and you did not.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, sometimes when I'm like doing it and I start thinking about the fact that I'm falling and standing back up over and over again, then it gets exhausting, but you have to just
not even think about that.
Don't think about it. Just
think about doing the move again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Not, you feel everything.
Don't neglect your body. Take that water break.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on number 3. Can you describe a moment in your career, which you have an athletic career, even though you're not, I don't know if you're getting paid or anything, where you had to dig and push beyond your limits? Right now, because I know you do amateur MMA. Sorry, that was a fly.
So in wrestling.
And in wrestling, or just in your whole career. I think wrestling's martial arts.
Yeah. Well, if there's plenty of examples, but you know, a big one for wrestling was the transition from high school to college.
Okay.
And basically,
Let's talk about that a little bit.
I felt very behind, like, you know, other people. I didn't really have the coaches and the opportunities to succeed when I was younger. And, you know, I put in everything I could, like weightlifting at the gym, like when I was really young and stuff, but it wasn't really enough to get me in the right condition to wrestle at like a prestigious college or anything. So kind of accepting that I was going to have to go through a different path.
When you say the coaches weren't there, does that mean they didn't have an interest in you at that moment, or they were focused more on the male athletes, or they just weren't available?
Both. So definitely my high school coaches. I had one that did take an interest in me, but he was kind of a part-time coach. He would come in 2 to 3 times a week, but like the head coaches definitely ignored me until basically the end of my wrestling career in high school. So that was really tough to deal with. And then during the off season, it was like, kids with money would like go to these camps and do all these
and get all the extra training. I notice out here in California, there's like a ton of training camps.
And I live with my mom, so she couldn't drive me out to these places or let alone afford them.
I can so relate to that. Like I didn't do sports in high school for that very reason, and my high school was 12 miles away from my home.
Yeah.
Which is out in the boondocks.
Yeah.
Like I could not learn to ride a bike to basketball practice.
Yeah.
So I can feel you there, not being seen, not having the navigational tools like the other teammates would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even though, I had the heart and I was trying my best to stay in shape at home and like weight training, I would like walk to the gym and I got a job at McDonald's just to buy myself a car so I could go.
Can so relate to that.
I was always, a step behind people who...
And you feel like internally somewhat that you're wasting time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you're trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Well, I personally, because I've been around the fight scene a long time, I personally can see that perseverance in you, and it has made you a better athlete by far, because you knew what you wanted, and you've had to take that and try to drive yourself to get what you want.
Yeah.
So I love that.
That's why I say it's one of the biggest things to overcome, because once you realize like this can be a very long journey and there's a lot of value to take from it, regardless of your accomplishments or what medals you have, then it really adds a lot to your strength that you're able to see beyond just
your character as an athlete.
Yeah, beyond just what's happening right now.
Because that's a lot of limitations for a young, inspiring female that knows what she wants, and you're just like, it's like somebody choking you, and you're like, I can't breathe, but I need to breathe, so let me breathe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. Do you want to add any more to that? What about MMA?
Well, I think it makes me, very thankful now. Like I see a lot of athletes that maybe did have, it's good to have support, but maybe they don't recognize how lucky they are. So then they kind of give up sometimes when things get hard because they're not used to the pushback. So, it makes me very thankful now for, even like the job I have that helps me pay for my training. Sometimes I don't want to go, but thinking, okay, this is what's helping me get to where I want to be.
Exactly.
Makes everything easier.
And it makes you
the
strong and humble.
Yeah.
And if those people want to quit, they don't have heart.
Yeah.
People that have heart don't quit.
Yeah.
I could say they quit for a little bit and come back.
Yeah.
We'll see if they come back. That's hard. Okay. So how have you been received as a woman in a traditional male-dominant sport? How have people perceived you?
Well, I think it definitely depends on where and what gym. Like
different gyms.
Yeah. So the school I started wrestling at was like kind of in the hill. Rescue, California.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Shingle Springs. I went
Shingle
to
Springs?
Ponderosa.
Oh, I know Ponderosa. Yeah.
So I went there, and I think a lot of the people there are more traditional, and so that was kind of difficult to. Every practice, like I felt like I shouldn't be there.
Really?
I remember.
What do you mean by traditional? Like
they kind of didn't want me there.
Really?
Like I was the only girl.
Oh, so you had to go with the guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You gotta clarify that. No,
it was.
In some ways, I preferred training with the guys. Like I trained with females up until I got my black belt.
Yeah.
Once I got my black belt, if the girls couldn't hang, then I had, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna downplay my abilities,
Yeah.
But with that being said, I liked training with the guys, and I would take it personal if they didn't like punch me back or something, because it was like. But in your case, you're at an all-male wrestling team,
and I was.
I'm exploring that.
So it was like, I could definitely tell that the coaches didn't want me there, and I just like.
That's so sad.
Yeah, but I stayed mainly because I didn't want to be the only girl to join and then quit. Like it was so hard. Like
you're representing female.
I want to be done. So
high school athletes.
I was counting down the weeks until the last day of the season, but then I ended up going back the next year.
See, coaches, you hearing this? She's an example.
Yeah.
You let one go through the cracks. But
at the end, at the end,
I might be interviewing somebody from there. I don't know, but I don't really care because this is the unveiling of the heart. This process you're telling me you went through is what's making you what I saw a pretty prestigious amateur MMA fighter and out there on the mat wrestling too. Yeah.
Just at the end of I'm happy because by my senior season when they saw like I was way more committed than any of the guys, then they did give me praise and like pay attention to me, but it took so long for them to even recognize me. Like they didn't even know my name.
That wasn't that really? See, gosh, I just don't know if that's. I'm trying to balance that out in my head because Southern people, they know who they're talking to. You know what I'm saying? They know who they're dealing with. And that just blows my mind at the high school level. Yeah.
It's just it's a team that
wasn't too far long ago, was it?
No. So I'm 20 now. So.
Yeah, that wasn't very long ago. Hopefully they've changed.
They have, because I've gone back in that room to help out, because I know now they have a few more girls. Like they have like 6 girls in there throughout the season. And now they're much better. So
and you're willing to help the community.
Yeah, I'm happy that they were able to change their minds. So, that's good.
I mean, that's crazy. But some of my point that I'm trying to make, too, is like what it takes to have heart. Well, sometimes heart starts with someone showing interest in you, whether it be your mom, your mother, she's your natural nurturer. She shows you love from the get-go, hopefully. Everybody has different stories, but for somebody that's wanting to inspire to evolve and do something with themselves, it takes someone of interest. And that's what I'm wanting to show. There's a lot of coaches I'm running into here lately that think, the athlete can pave their own way. Like, I feel like it has done you some justice because you have a lot of heart because of your situation. But sometimes talent filters through the cracks. And it just takes one person to say, hey, man, I see you. And you go after it,
So I did have that one coach that was very supportive because his daughter wrestled. So he was the one that would take me out on tournaments. And so he really meant a lot. And I don't think without him, they would have just had me going to all guy tournaments and just felt that would have been horrible.
He got you where you needed to go.
Just a little bit of support, even though he wasn't there.
We're kind of getting to the second question. What role has your coaches and teammates played in your growth as an athlete? Now, we just kind of naturally flowing with it. So you're talking about your coaches.
Just that, that first coach especially, just having at least someone, even though he wasn't there every day, just him on the weekends, taking me to tournaments.
Was it someone that you could admire? Like, did he have good athletic skills, or was he older than? Yeah, obviously he's older than you. I don't know where that came from, but so it was like somebody you could look up to. Like, was he on the mat too, or was he just? Some coaches are out there here. And
he was athletic. He was a little bit older, but he still worked out, and he would go to the gym. I remember because we would go to tournaments at 5 a.m, and he would go to the gym at 3 or 4 a.m.
and to prepare himself mentally. That's awesome.
So he was great, and
that shows dedication.
He was his daughter wrestled, so just seeing the way he treated her,
that's amazing,
and was supporting her was okay, there is a reason.
And then coach fit me in. I like that. I understand that. What about your teammates?
Here, wait, I'm going to check the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you're going.
You got to go?
Yeah.
You got to go to work?
No, I'm going to MMA Gold.
Oh, the beast. MMA Gold, you're still in my interview. Okay. Well, I appreciate this. This is fine. We can stop it here. You guys, this girl has heart. I know she has heart, and she dug deep, gave me some deep answers, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right, honey.
If you want to call or you know, just if you do want to do any other questions.
Yeah, we can come back to
Okay,
it. Absolutely.
okay, yeah.
So we don't have to stop here
Okay.
because I love to hear your story. This is why I'm doing the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it.
Okay.